Welcome back everybody to a very special episode of the LP series. This is my single player world, and we're going to do something now that I've been putting off for quite a long time, and that is a world tour. So we're going to go around and we're going to have a look at almost everything that I've built in this world in 1,732 days, which is a long time actually. I've enjoyed playing on this world so much. I haven't released an episode on my LP for quite a while now. Reasons for this: I've been busy with my SMP, busy with trying out some mods. I did some Better Than Wolves, which is a cool mod pack, but I've been really itching to get back to the LP world, and I figured it was time to give a tour. So let's get stuck in. I mean, there's so much to see. This is going to be a lot of fun for me too. I think the most important thing to start with is this pillar. This is the first thing that I built. So I do remember spawning into this world. I was quite happy to have spawned on a beach because I was looking for this kind of environment with some great landscapes around and to do some cool building, and that was my spawn point. So I thought it was best. I thought it was appropriate. Oh, the rain has started. I thought it was appropriate to mark it with a little pillar, which I've done, and it's a nice reminder of the humble beginnings. I love also the kind of decorations, like these little lamps, kind of the hidden lighting that you often have to do. Oh, there's a cow jumping around, and an egg. Okay, so this was really the first thing that I actually built. This is my starter base. I think it's quite cute. I'm very happy with it. Let's go back into normal mode. It's very small, but it did the job. And it got me through those first few rainy, cold nights. And it's great to look back and see all of my old equipment. I guess these would have been picked up from zombie drops or something. That'll be my first pickaxe. I don't know if I named it. Maybe it's just... No, it's just a wooden pickaxe. But it's always nice to keep your very first tool, isn't it? And look at all these maps. We'll see the maps later on when we get to the lighthouse. That's our first regional map. First bed, lots of firsts. Down here we had a little storage room, just with a few furnaces. I think, oh, I haven't even emptied these. That's interesting. So I have a much bigger storage room now. A lot of them have been emptied. I guess the important ones have been emptied. Carnivore meat books. Oh wow, so some very old books. Yeah, I like this. It was cool, but I very quickly ran out of space. So we had to move on and build something new. Quite soon after building the first house, I think the barn may have been one of it was either the second or maybe the second or third building that I made. Obviously we all like to keep animals in Minecraft, don't we? And having a nice place to put them is essential, I think. Some cows in there, sheep in there. Nothing in here. I guess I never got any pigs, which, as I say, given the amount of time I've been in this world, it's really quite incredible that I haven't done these very simple tasks. These here, well, let me show you it's not really a hidden part, it's just an upstairs part in here. We have, whoops, if I can get up the ladder. Yes, we have the first of many blocks. There's a bee trapped. Oh no. I hope he gets down. There's the first of many blocks that were just left behind in builds by Endermen griefing the landscape. And I made the decision right at the start that I wasn't going to move them. I would just leave them and kind of commemorate them with a sign, courtesy of Stanley E. Man. That's... Come on. Oh no, he won't let me go down. Down. No. Okay, that's better. Invisible item frames have some items laid out. I think that's cool. And yeah, between here and here, so attached to the animal farm, is the sheep shearing farm. Oh, a lot of these are missing their wall. I guess maybe I've run out of shears. Because this is in the spawn chunk, so this is going constantly. Yeah, I remember it took me a while to get this done. Don't forget, you're here forever. If you watch The Simpsons, you might get that reference. Oh no, shit. okay, maybe they're still working. Maybe they're still working. But yeah, this took a long time to build. I'm pleased with how it turned out. It's kind of cool. I like the wall at the back, the coloured glass at the bottom. It works out really nicely, and it just goes and goes and goes. And I believe, whoops, yes, there's loads of wool here, loads of wool. I never got around to making a sorter. I guess that was a bit lazy of me. Oh, these things are absolutely full. What if I ever need wool of any colour? I know exactly where to come, and I will always have a lot of it. Still some old redstone components, I think. Yeah, I just never bothered taking back up. The dyes. Yeah, it's crazy how looking back at this stuff really brings back the memories and really the hours and the hours of hard work that goes into these builds. It's really quite amazing. So let's seal this up. Here is the cactus farm. I didn't get cactus for quite a while. I think I had there was a bit of a song and dance about it, because finding a desert in my world has been quite difficult. And I found my first cactus in an igloo, not in a desert at all. I have found a desert now, but I had to go quite a long way. And cactus was quite frustrating, because I couldn't get the green dye, and I couldn't make the lime greens, so I couldn't get all the colours for the sheep and everything. So eventually getting the cactus from the igloo was a big achievement. This is nothing special, of course. It's not even properly decorated, really. It just has a bit of terracotta and a bit of green glass on the roof. It's not the best build, for sure. But it does its job, and I guess it's also chugging away with nearly a full double chest. Interesting. Okay. The grave. Yes. This is one of my more recent builds. Early on, I tamed a horse, obviously to get around a bit easier. I never got around to naming him. Lots of kind of standard things that you should do, but you don't get the time to do. And I can't remember how he died, which is really awful to say. But he didn't last too long. He lasted long enough that I wanted to commemorate him. And I think almost in the most recent episode that I put out, we built a little grave, and yeah, he used to live in a hole in the ground here, but then we filled the hole in and built this. And it's nice to have these kind of things around. I don't think I've tamed many more animals, actually. I think it was just the horse. I always intended to tame a dog, but yeah, one of the issues I think is I spent a long time exploring, and this was all before the update where we had the different animals. So the only dogs and cows and sheep and everything and pigs that I could get were the normal variants, not the kind of newer variants. Sun's going down. Let's just quickly show you the pier. So this was also a very early build. Pier and a fishing shack. It's very simple, but it did the job. I spent a long time sitting in this exact spot. I had a whole episode dedicated to fishing up a mending book. So I don't use villager trading in this world. That was one of the rules I set out for myself right at the start. I'm kind of conscious about the light level, but we'll keep on talking. Yeah, so I think villagers are very overpowered. And I wanted to kind of extend myself, challenge myself, and not use books from villager trading too much. And that meant that all my tools kept on breaking. It was a bit of a nightmare. I fished and I fished and I fished for ages with the perfect rod. And eventually I fished up a mending book. I don't know whether you've seen my episode, but it was a mending book that actually was tied with cursive vanishing or cursive binding. So I couldn't put it onto my elytra, for example, because then I couldn't switch to chest plates. It was a big disappointment. It was a big thing. But no, this fishing shack, or the fishing pier at least, good memories, good times, good times. The shack itself has nothing really in it. That, I guess, is a very early shovel. I don't know why I framed that. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's simple, does the job. And what more do you need from Minecraft builds? Okay, so we slapped it a little bit, just to get rid of the rain. Oh, a nice rainbow, that's really cool. Yeah, so dotted around I have these vegetable patches, glowberries and everything really, just to give things a little bit more colour. I think it's really nice just to not have, you know, the plain grass, and I think it fits in really nicely, just these kind of random crops everywhere. Up here, whoops. Yeah, I've got some more of the same, just with these scarecrows and the mushroom lights. Oops. Just to give it a bit more light as well. Okay, there's a full copper skeleton. Cool. Let's go in this building next. Oh, there's an enderman still up there. Yeah, so this building has some history as well. So I built this as the enchanting tower. There was an enderman that was stuck either on that block or that block. I'll have to look back at my old videos, because there was an enderman stuck up there and he could not go anywhere. You can't be that guy because he can move around. I think this guy couldn't zoom away, and he was there for ages. He was there for maybe 9 episodes. I couldn't even see what... Okay, Wizardly Way. So this is my enchanting tower. This is a cool little build. And then one episode, the enderman disappeared, which I was a little disappointed about. But these things happen. This is where all the enchanting gets done. It's pretty cool. Cute little build. This is kind of just a small area to the side. Just with a quick bed if I need to sleep. But yeah, this has served me well. Served me very well over time. I've done a fair bit of enchanting here. All the way at the top, we have the table. So of course, yeah, brewing at the bottom, enchanting at the top. And I guess these are also some very old books and old materials. These would be, I guess, a 100 type of ages. I built this fairly soon after starting the world. Okay, what am I doing? I'm trying to think about what to do next. We will go there at the end. Let's go. Okay, fine. That was something I built in a way of saying thank you to having 100 subscribers, which is not a large number, of course, compared to many people on YouTube. But for me, it was a really nice milestone to hit, and I was very pleased. I used to have armor stands there, 100 armor stands, but armor stands, as people know, can make your game quite laggy. Although I have a decent computer, I didn't want reason in spawn chunks to make it even worse than it actually should have been. While we're looking this direction, I guess we'll point out this, which is the waterfall on the river system. This is the most recent video that I did put out, called Geomorphology. I always liked this funny shaped cliff, and I had the idea to create a bit of a water source up there with the copper, make a waterfall, which landed in this pool area up there with a bit of decoration, and then would flow further down the mountainside and then come out into the river here. And I think the terraforming, it's worked out really nicely. I really like that. It's simple, it's kind of standard in some ways, but I think it's turned out really well. And the same thing, I guess, could be said for this little pond down here, which is just like a bit of a relaxation area. I just love the mossy cobble. I like the acacia trees in particular. You know, the benches, the dripstone, drip leaves, not dripstone. It just works out well. Okay, what next? Here is the bee farm. So, or the honey farm, I should say, with the bees. Down here we can see how well it's working. Working very well. So yeah, I'm collecting a honeycomb. I haven't got it set up for honey itself. The way I've been doing that is I hooked up. Can I jump up? Or maybe it's easier just to go into this view. Yeah, so I hooked up a daylight sensor to some redstone on the back, so you would shear the beehives when the daylight sensor went off. So basically, is it once a day? It must be once or twice a day. And that's generally enough to get the honeycomb out. And I thought that was a kind of clever solution. It wasn't one that I had particularly seen before, actually. I'm sure some people will have done it. We have random beehives around, just for decoration in a way, and I always try and share them if I get a chance. But it's also good to have a farm that's going off continuously. This build is also, funny story, as all builds do. I originally intended for this to be some kind of castle, a very small one, admittedly, with a footprint. let's go into this view again. And I started off making it in this shape, and I realized that I didn't want a castle. It was supposed to be a storage area, and I kind of changed my mind halfway through, and to kind of not take it all down and kind of admit that maybe I wasted my time, I turned it into a bit of a ruin. So instead we have a storage area down below, which I love. I just love the blues and the greens and the cyans. This kind of brick palette is one of my favorites. And this is now my storage area, and it holds a lot of stuff. It's 3 double chests at least of everything. Sand, shulkers of sand. We've got everything. It's not really lined up in a particular way, but it actually stores a lot of materials. And yeah, I really like it as a room. It's kind of atmospheric, I think. And yeah, it's obviously goes quite a way underground. Another thing underground which is nearby, which is very easy to miss, and you can kind of see it down there, where you can see a gap in the pixels, is this. So right down here is my sugarcane farm, and it's automatic, so it's redstone, and it works on a piston system, which obviously pushes. Don't ask me why there's bamboo down here when it's actually a sugarcane farm. It's just kind of playing into the green, the green theme. Although I do have some of the Minecraft hearts there, which I quite like on the walls as well. Yeah, so this is, oh, it's not completely full. It's not the most efficient one in the world, but it gets me all the sugarcane that I would need. And anything that's not pushed down into the water stream above gets collected by a minecart, which periodically just dumps them off down here. So there's not too much wastage. There's obviously some wastage. These things are never 100% perfect. But I also designed this myself, and obviously it's not a very difficult design to do. It's very standard, but everything was done. You know, I'm pleased that I don't always have to follow tutorials for especially redstone builds. Over here we have a super smelter, which has also seen a lot of use. We have, is it 12? Or I can't remember how many there are. It's a standard design, of course. I think it's 12 furnaces. It's good for cooking fish, smelting some cobblestone, copper from the copper nuggets, iron, the usual stuff, and it's very simple. Oops. There. So we have materials in, and fuel in, and we can stop and start the carts as we like. Down below, in terms of fuel, this is a nice lava farm. Very simple with dripstone. It gives me all the fuel I would need for the super smelter. Over here it's a bit more decorative. We'll get to this in a second as well. This is a kind of farmlandy type area. We've got a cool, I think it's cool, tractor here, which has turned out really nicely. I like it a lot. I've got some hay bales stacked up, a little campfire area, sniffers. So it was a bit of a task. Wait, am I missing a door there? Huh. Maybe a zombie's taking that door out. That's annoying. Yeah, so some sniffers, or one sniffer egg that I found. I still haven't done anything with the sniffer. I would like to make a farm so I can get those flowers that he produces. But once again, I never got around to that yet. Yeah, so a bit of a farm area here. Let's go down to the boardwalk quickly, then we'll come back up. So this was kind of an extension of the pier over there, just to kind of barricade off, if that's the term to use, the coastline here and give it a bit more shape. These are all empty. This is just pure decoration. But in here, despite the fact that I said I wasn't going to use villagers for trading, I still have some villagers for other reasons. So I needed villagers, of course, for the iron farm. And I had to capture some, breed some, and then move them into the iron farm myself. And I did it in a little space down there. There's not really much reason to do it there, but it was just a convenient place to have these things. There's some little steps going back up here, easy access. Let me go to sleep again, because this island's not fully spawn proofed, and then we'll look at some more. Okay, another rainy morning. Okay, so we will get to the lighthouse at the end of the episode. As I say, I have a reason for doing things in a certain order. Over here, I guess let's quickly look at the iron farm. Again, you know, you can't claim it's anything special. There's a nice iron golem statue at the top, which I think is really cool. This is, oh, it used to be a chicken farm. Now it just is full of eggs. Yeah, this has also been working since day one, really. And it chugs along, gets me all the iron that I need. It's not very big. You see much bigger ones in other people's worlds. But, you know, they probably have a greater need for iron than I do. I use iron sparingly. It's a resource, obviously, I do need, but I don't need to have a massive farm. I guess the final thing, well, not really the final thing, another thing on this island, the door's been left open, is the Grand Library. So we have a little hanging sign here, which I think is quite cool. This build took a long time, mostly because of all the bricks I had to collect. Now, bricks, as any Minecrafter knows, is a shocking material to collect, unless you have something like a lush cave or something. And as I was not using villager trading, I couldn't readily trade with them either to get these. So this took a while, but I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So the idea was that I had somewhere to store all of my books, all the enchanted books. The carpet patterns, a bit random, kind of like a Harry Potter colour scheme at least. The main objective here is just to have a chest or something that I could keep every single type of book in. Of course, it's a bit awkward if you have 2 enchantments on a book. You got to decide which one you would do. But without villager trading, I have to take what I can get. So on one side, I think this is offensive. Yeah, this is offensive or ranged weapons, which is why it's the trident and the bow and everything. And then there's, you know, melee weapons, or there was an order, there was a sense to the order in which I was putting the books in. Yeah, this looks like it's kind of the random one. It's really cozy, this build. I like it a lot. Yeah, so there's this wing, there's the other wing. I love androids as well. Androids for lighting. Oh, it's the best. Yeah, this is the other half. And then the top, the crown, which I think you saw, contains the rare books. Oh, there's even more up here. Okay, I've gotten this up here. Wow, this is... I had done a lot. Like I said, this is kind of getting me a little bit emotional, you know. You go around and you realise all the time you've spent putting into these projects. And, I mean, they're labours of love, basically. Like, you would not do this unless you were absolutely dedicated. So I'm going up a tiny spiral staircase here to get into the top. This is looking down over the island. And this, yeah, has the good ones. So unbreaking with additional enchantments. No mending. I couldn't get mending. Getting mending for anything was just so difficult. The only reason I have mending on a lot of the stuff is because I found tools with mending on. For example, in end cities. Can you do that? I guess you would have to be able to do that. I'm trying to think back. It's been so long since I've been at that stage of the game. So yeah, this library is really cool. I like it a lot. It's probably one of the builds I'm probably most proud of. But there are others, of course. There are others. Over here, this is where the island starts to kind of end, and there was a natural sandbank that formed. Well, that's not entirely true. So there's a bit of a coast at this end of this island, connecting to this island, and I made a sandbank that fully connected the two. And here I put the raid farm. So raid farms are obviously very easy now. All you need to have is a villager, and oh, who's in there? I remember who's in there now. So the raid farm is just, it's a kind of standard. Let's go down anyway. You get the picture, I'm pretty sure. the raiders fall down the hole and you just swipe away at their ankles. And you need a very small slot because the got a diamond axe in there. Yeah, the vectors, that's the word I was looking for. I get a decent amount of redstone and emeralds. Yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracted again. The vex heads, well, the vexes themselves can be quite deadly. Yeah, I'm getting distracted because I'm trying to remember who is in here, and I think it's a full diamond skeleton. Oh yes. Did I name him? Maybe I didn't. There's no other reason why we'd have this dirt box. Captain Skelly Bones, I did. So he's still in there. That's crazy. I remember, like I said, you get these memories, don't you? I remember him appearing, and I remember desperately flying back to get a name tag so that he would stay there. Yeah, so this is the only thing that's really on this part of the island. But let's go up here because there is some stuff up here. Behind the 100 subscriber celebration, you can see there's some of these caves and they have stuff within them. So, oh, let's land there. So these are natural caves. This was a natural cave entrance. Scary drop ahead. And this was another natural cave entrance up here. And I kind of outlined this cave in all the white blocks that I wanted to use. So there's the quartz, there's the calcite, there's the diorite, and some amethysts, some budding amethysts. And we call this the crystal caves. And in here, we wanted to kind of outline some of the rules that we would play and live by in the series. So infrastructure over elytra, I think that is a good rule for most Minecraft worlds. No villager trading abuse, interesting. Stay off the nether roof, yes. So that's an easy one to explain actually. So previously, before starting on Java, I used to play on Bedrock on the Xbox, playing with my son. It was how he got me into the game. And on Bedrock, of course, you can't even access the nether roof, you can't build on there. So I'm not really used to using the nether roof for anything. And I figured, why start now? If you want to do some infrastructure, do some farms, just do them in the nether. And we have made some builds in the nether. And that was one of the rules I decided to add into the world here. Oops, I've missed that already. Okay, well, so we're going to the second cave now. This is the kind of splash pond that I mentioned earlier. I think it's quite nice. Yes, so this second cave, not white, blue, so the icy cave. This is a kind of nice little project, which let's see, it's quite small, but this is my job board, and there is a lot still to do. So the big jobs: nether hub and island renovation, overworld transport system, stronghold portal build, which I have partially done, block and item museum, and then some other things I would just like to do. Armor trim gallery, we've started this and I'll show you soon. Witch farm, find a trail room, blah 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 blah. Get some pets. Well, the horse doesn't count. So this is my job board. I come here every so often to remind myself of things that need to be done, which I am not doing. Okay, next, I think we'll go to the mob farm. So this mob farm is simple as well. It looks, I think I did well here, it looks like a hot air balloon. So the classic mob farm design, of course, is that you build it above the ocean, where you have to minimize underground spawns, and you don't want some mob farm hanging around looking ugly. So the only thing that I could think to really cover this up in a discreet way was a hot air balloon. I think I've done it quite well. So I used lots of the different coloured wools, in fact all the different types of coloured wools that were being produced by the sheep farm. And it's just enclosed within this box, of course. Yeah, so it's not super efficient, but it does the job, as I keep saying. A lot of the builds I've made in this world are not designed to be the most efficient way of doing things. As long as something works, it's normally good enough. And here's some other stories. So at one point I decided I wanted to turn it into an XP farm. obviously you would just have a platform here that everyone would fall down onto, and then you could swipe at their shins to get XP as well as the loot. If you had a looting 3 sword, you'd get even more. I had so many accidents, and you can see that at some point I just gave up trying to fix this. So many creepers were blowing up, and it was very frustrating. I kept losing blocks, and I figured I would keep it in this broken state with a random nether brick as a kind of memento of the troubles I went through to get it working. Now it's fully drops, it's not XP at all, and it works decently well. So let's see what's coming out. Some things I take straight away. I take the gunpowder and make it into rockets straight away. Some things I don't really care about, of course, rotten flesh and arrows, but you collect everything. You can put the eggs in there as well. It didn't turn out to be too bad. I quite like it, and it's kind of chill sometimes just to come up and, well, look down onto what I've built. So while it's night, maybe we can head this way. So this is the Guardian Farm, and I was very lucky to have an ocean monument so close to where I spawned in. I mean, you can see the lighthouse, you can see the base from this Guardian Farm. And what I've started to do here, so this is a classic Guardian Farm where you drain it and you just have this glass box basically for the Guardians to spawn. It's a soul sand type of system, and there's a drop chute in the middle where they all fall down. We'll see this in a second. So draining this, I didn't mind the way it looked, but then I wanted to cover it up with something else. So I started doing a kind of tropical island build, and this is the early parts of the beach. And the idea was to have a kind of, well, beach hut, larger than a beach hut, but some kind of build in the middle, covering up this. Obviously the Guardians couldn't spawn because they wouldn't be in the water, and it would be a kind of, you know, it was just covering up a farm, which is not always like great to look at. And I got a decent amount done on this. It's still footage that I have and haven't made into an episode yet, and we'll see. So let's go down to the farm itself. So here is a bit of an entrance. Down below is exactly what you'd expect. It's just a load of chests with, well, not a sorting system, just to collect the drops. This obviously is where they get shot up. This is where they fall down. I had to put the glass in because it was just, they just shoot you all the time. And also, I remember this episode now. I think I said at one point I was going to have in some kind of innovative kill system where I would chuck potions of harming or something onto them, and that never really turned out to be the case. I just decided to passively collect the drops as I've done previously. I never got around to fully decorating the inside of this either. I don't know if you've ever drained an ocean monument, but it's a lot of work. And you get a large surface area that you then need to cover up. One of the ideas I had was to turn this into a kind of armor trim museum. So I have partitions laid out for all the armor trims when I collect them, which I have got a fair few, I just haven't made the armor yet. This would obviously be the Bastion, this would be the Nether Fortress, this would be the Woodland Mansion, this is the End Cities. I mean, you get the picture. Down here, whoops, I think I have a few more. Yeah, so Desert Pyramid, Stronghold. I think these turned out quite nicely, to be honest. I just need to fill them up with the armor trims, and I do have most of them here. Well, not most of them, I've got some of them here. But as I say, it needs further decorating, and it's one of these jobs that is on my list of things to do, but who knows when and if it will be completed. Okay, let's move on to the next build. Okay, so let's take a quick tour inside the Nether. There's not a lot to see. I keep saying this. It makes it sound like I haven't done a lot of work in, 1700 days. I think I have, but I do take things at a slightly slower pace than some of the people. Oh, what's that guy? Zombie in the Nether. Be gone. Yeah, so this is my current Nether hub. There's a magma cube head. Yes, it is a cobblestone box. Yeah, so I have started doing the base, or at least an outline of what I might have hoped to have been a proper nether hub. I got lucky with the nether spawn. I mean, basalt is not a great nether spawn, but nether fortress right there. Bastions are quite close as well. Way over that way, there's a bastion where I've set up a frog-light farm. I think it's a little too far to actually go and show, because I needed to go all the way to find a treasure bastion, which wasn't too easy. But it's a standard setup. There's nothing really special about it. And in fact, within the nether, despite having said that I have all these grand plans, I haven't done a lot to show. So over there, I think we've got a very basic blaze farm. Just really, the blazes spawn, and once again you hack away at their ankles. But otherwise, yeah, that's it for the nether. I really need to improve that. So one of the last things to at least show you in this area is this central building here, which we've been flying around. This is what I affectionately termed the drop chute. So this, I like this as a method for getting down to diamond level quickly. So I like to just dig straight down and drop down into water, basically on top of the bedrock, and you can fly up just as quickly. And for a long time it wasn't even decorated, it was just a hole. But recently I did some kind of pattern, basically, just with a few blocks that I had spare, to give it a bit more character. And once again, I have some tunnels going off in cardinal directions, which are just used for collecting deep slate, basically. But the main way I collect deep slates is with a tunnel bore, and I believe this is the passage that leads to the tunnel bore. So we'll just take a quick shortcut down here. Whoops, not that one. Or maybe this isn't the right way. No. It's up instead of down. I knew this is the right passage. Yeah, so here, this is where I started off with the tunnel bore. So originally it was a single module going straight down here, which was great. I was collecting lots of deep slates. Then eventually I expanded it into 2 or 3 that were next to each other. And this is when the tunnel widens up here. So this is 2 parallel tunnel bores. And then 3. And then at the end, when I got to the end, I've turned it round. So now the tunnel bore has, is it 5 or 6 modules? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules. I'll light this up just in case. And it took a while to actually get this right, because the redstone is tricky, as people know. And now we can start going off in a different direction to get even more deep slate. And of course, lots of diamonds that come at the same time. Let me have a go, let me see if it works. I dread to kind of try this without checking it, but I hope it should work. Everything's gone off. Oh, what about the ones at the end? I didn't see them explode. Yeah, that one is offset. That's frustrating. So there is one. Kind of remember. Oh, yeah. That shows you, like I said at the start, that I've not been on the world for a bit of time. So I hadn't been on until Spears had been updated. Yes, it needs fixing. But it's, I mean, if you want deep slate, there's nothing better, is there? Ooh. Right, so if we fly out of the drop chute and fly in this general direction, we're going to get to my first ever mega build. So I've said this in a few of my videos in the past, I've not been playing Minecraft for too long. I'm an old person, I don't get a lot of time. I said in my very first episode of this series, actually, I was introduced to the game probably about 5 years ago now, maybe 4, I can't remember exactly when, by my son who was playing. And we started off playing with each other on the Xbox, and then eventually I graduated to Java. But I never really did anything big, and this build has just come into view now. This was the first mega build I ever did, and it took so long, and I'm very happy with how it turned out on the inside, on the outside. It's not my favorite thing I've ever built, but it is big. It is very, very big, and it's complex as well. So I can link the video on the screen to give credit for the designer, which is not my design, of course. It's based on the Notre Dame Cathedral with some special edits. And the whole reason for me building it is it's supposed to be a kind of celebration, or I guess you might call it, I don't know what you would call it really. It's built on top of the end portal. So that sign that I had up in the Crystal Caves saying about the end portal build renovation, I said it was half complete. So we've done this on the top side. We still need to do the end portal itself down there, which I just get to by dropping down this hole. But this build is fantastic. It's very kind of, I'm not sure what the building style is, gothic. It's big enough to fly through, of course, which is interesting. I have some nice decorations. I got this flag, which is not really representing anything. It's just a flag of the world. The stained glass windows are beautiful. Okay, so yeah, connected textures is not working too well here. But these are supposed to be eyes of Ender, obviously representing the stronghold. And there's some Endermen that I designed for the windows. I think they're pretty cool. At the front we have the usual thing that you have in cathedrals, is a dragon head. Every cathedral has a dragon head. The pulpit and everything else. Yeah, I just like how this turned out. I think it's a really cool build. And actually the end has nothing of value either to go and see. I've killed a dragon a few times. I've started unlocking all of the end gateways, but I haven't built anything significant down there. I did at one point have, what do you call it? A wither skull farm, yes, because I was using the end portal to get wither roses that I could use for wither skulls. But that mechanic was patched, so I can't use that anymore, which is quite frustrating. Now we're going to fly off this way quickly, and hopefully a woodland mansion should come into view. Yes, here we go. So this woodland mansion is very special too. I think I found this maybe in episode 2 or 3. It was very, very early on. I was just doing some exploring around the base, going to collect saplings for different wood types and such, and obviously I chanced upon the dark forest. The mansion came into view and I was very excited because I love woodland mansions, and that kind of clouded my judgment, so to speak. So I took on the ambitious task of trying to clear out the woodland mansion very early on before I actually had proper gear. I don't even have a bed, do I? I think we can go in now because we're pretty hard. I think we can take them. But yeah, when I went in the first time, I got absolutely decimated, and it was not a fun time. I did not have an enjoyable time. I died multiple times. I think I lost a decent amount of gear that I had accrued. But one thing that I love about this mansion, if you know anything about mansion lore, obviously you have hidden rooms in some mansions, and this hidden room in here with this lava cube is incredibly rare. So yeah, there's many hidden rooms in woodland mansions. This is insanely rare to get this. So I was amazed when I saw the lava through one of the windows. And one of the issues here is if I break this open, the mansion could go up in flames quite quickly. In this glass cube, nothing can. I don't know if there's anything in the middle of this. I suspect there's probably not. I do kind of want to check, but I also don't want to destroy this mansion because although it's not written on my list of jobs, I would at some point like to do a mansion renovation. That is a really exciting project for me. And this one being the closest one is probably the most sensible one to try that. But yeah, I remember quite vividly dying multiple times, and I think I died the most in this little hole here, which is behind these staircases. And obviously it was very dark and I just could not get my stuff back, and I think I gave up, and I we had a little cry that night because I lost a lot of good armor that I had, carefully used my diamonds to collect. It wasn't the funnest time. All these videos are obviously on the channel if you would care to watch them. Okay, let's head back to spawn. But one thing I forgot to mention, which I've just zoomed back to, is the inside of the roof in the cathedral. In the design that I followed from YouTube, it's supposed to be empty. And of course this would be true for a real life cathedral. But for me, I decided to fill it with some workstations and some skull to give it a kind of midnight sky type of appearance. And also in the crossroads on top, we have the dragon egg. So the one of a kind block that can just sit there as its own rarity. So nice little Easter egg there. So we're back at spawn, and there's some other things that I've built in this world that there's not really a reason to go out and show you. For example, I have, what do you call them? The farms where you get the bottles, the raid bottles. So I built one of them at a pillager outpost, but there's nothing really to see, it's just a platform and you just wait up there for the pillagers to kill themselves. One thing that is worth, or the last thing that's worth showing, is this lighthouse. As I alluded to at the start, there's a reason why I've left the lighthouse until the very end, and hopefully you'll see this when we go inside. So one thing I've always said when I set up the world and when I started this LP was that I wanted this to be my so-called forever world. Lots of people use this term time and time again, and I'm sure they mean it, although there's certainly some YouTubers that start their new forever world every few weeks, just trying to get that that view boost for this brand new world video. Anyway, without complaining too much about this, yeah, this lighthouse that I built was primarily just to host the maps that I was making of my world. And we'll see the maps in a second. Of course, the outside looks beautiful, and the inside is a tad sparse. It's not very functional, it's more aesthetic than functional, apart from the map room, of course. Even the light at the top doesn't actually work, it's just a series of sea lanterns that just give some illumination. Of course, I think it works very well as part of the spawn island. It's a really beautiful part. We'll go to the top and we'll come back down to the maps. It ties things together quite well, especially with the marina and the fishing hut. I always fall off the spiral staircase. Can I get out? Yes. What should I do? Let's go into this view. Yeah, so this is a really great build, I think. Really fantastic. Here we have the light at the top. Like I said, not redstone automated, not circling around or coming on during the night and off during the day. But I still like the way it looks. And it gives me a great launching pad in any direction I would care to take if I want to zoom off without wasting too many rockets. Yeah, let's go down to the main attraction here. So the map room. I've always loved maps in Minecraft. I think it's a really fantastic part of the game and an indispensable part of the game, actually. Things like trail ruins and trial chambers, this kind of stuff. But the maps themselves, just giving you direction about where to go, is really important. Like, you'll see here that I have, can I pop these out? Yes. I don't know why a new recipe is coming up from a map. But, so we have a 4x4. This is where we are now. This is Spawn Island, and you can see the Guardian farm there. There's an ice biome just off here. I've been around there many times. In fact, it's obvious I've been around everywhere here because I've uncovered the map. And one of the issues that I've had, which has been playing on my mind in recent years, is that I made a kind of critical mistake of filling out these maps in an attempt to explore, see all the biomes. For example, one of the episodes I had was trying to get all achievements, and to do this I needed to get adventuring time. So I had to fly around and try and find all the biomes that I needed, including mushroom islands that weren't even within this 4x4 or 2x2 radius away from spawn. And in hindsight, looking back, I think that was a bit of a mistake, especially at the time that I did it. So I was doing all this exploration, filling out all these maps, and of course loading all these chunks. And this was before, as I mentioned, there was a rather major update, not so much to biomes, although I have missed a few biomes in recent updates, recent times. The animals was quite frustrating. So having uncovered all of this, essentially all of it, before the animals update came in, I could no longer get the warm variants of the cows and the chickens and the pigs or the wolves, which is quite upsetting actually. I don't know, it's been playing on my mind, so to speak. Coming back to this idea of starting my forever world, I did promise myself that I would not reset this world. I wanted to build something that would stand the test of time, but this is starting to conflict in my eyes with this issue that I have where I have to go out. I mean, these are 2,000 block wide maps. If I want to go and explore for a pale forest, which I haven't found in this world because of this exploration, or if I want to go and discover the new dappled forest or any other new biome that might come out, it's going to be quite difficult. And yeah, so I guess what I'm asking is, I think I'd like some opinions from you, if you're watching this video, whoever stuck it out to the end, about what to do. I'm very reluctant to restart a world, because I didn't make a promise to myself, and as you can see, I'm not the best builder in the world, but I've sunk a lot of time into this, and I've enjoyed all the time that I've put into this. I've made some, what I consider to be beautiful builds, some incredible builds, and I would hate to lose them. This is kind of what you suffer from on SMPs and other activities, where you build some fantastic things, but of course you know they will eventually end. And if you go into that project knowing that, it's not so bad. But this, going into it thinking I was going to keep it forever, it kind of changes the dynamic. So yeah, if you're watching, if you have an opinion, maybe you can tell me what you think I should do. There's really only two options in my eyes. One of them is to start a new LP and be more careful with the exploration and not do what I did this time, not make the same mistakes I made this time. The second option, I would say, is to fly out 10,000 blocks in any direction, put down a bed, set a new spawn point, and dump everything I have, my ender chest, my elytra, into the first lava pool I find. And therefore you're just making a fresh start, still within this world. And I think I'm veering towards that option. I think it would solve some of the problems that I have. It would not violate this idea that I said I would not restart the world. I'm just going to have a fresh start in a different part of the world. It would give me access to all the new biomes and blocks, and importantly, it would mean that this all still survives. So there would be a memory, as I've already said, there's memories of things that have gone by. We shouldn't really forget, and maybe in 1,700 days time, if I were to restart somewhere else, I can make a pilgrimage back to 0-0 and come and have a look at this one more time, do another update video and kind of see what I've made in my new place compared to what I've made in my old place. I think that might be quite poignant, but this is not a decision I think I'm capable of making on my own. I would value some input from you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the world tour, as short and compressed as it was. Like I say, I mean, sometimes you expect a little more when you see day counts of this magnitude. But yeah, I play at my own pace, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed what I've been able to show. If you do have an opinion on the comments I just made, please let me know, because I would be interested to hear your thoughts. And I guess if I get enough responses, then the next episode in the LP may be starting fresh in a whole different location. I will wait to hear what people say, and then maybe I'll give an update on the channel. thank you again for watching. It's really great. I appreciate anybody who watches and likes or subscribes or comments. It's just really great to have a community out there who is interested and who cares. I will stop rambling, as I always do, and say thank you again. Have a good night. See you next time.